Okay, let's just let everyone in and then we can get started. Okay, let's give everyone a few more minutes before we start. Okay. So I hope everyone's been having a good weekend and enjoying these full moon energies that seriously are ramping up. I have felt it quite intensely today. And also there have been some strange moments this week where I felt like I'm moving at light speed on an energetic level. So I almost feel like the energy's flying past me as I'm moving forward. So we're definitely in some accelerated energies at the moment. And certainly things seem to be hotting up as these energies are coming in to create some dramatic releases and clearings. So it's going to be interesting to see what else occurs this week as these energies really are integrated into us and integrated into the world. How this is going to manifest this week depends on our willingness to let go of the past and to open to the new. So we need to actually be willing, we need to be open to that. This can be challenging because we are so programmed to need to know where we are going and what we are doing. And at this time, we don't know what we're doing and we don't know where we're going. And we have to depend on our soul and trust in what is unknown. And it's important to remember as well that the unknown is what we are needing to bring into form at this time. Connecting with our soul and trusting the intuitive nudges and inspirations is key and will show us how to navigate our way forward. So I'm certainly interested to observe, even for myself, what are the new things that are coming into form? What are the new things that I'm being called to create? What are the new things that I'm being called to do? And I'm sure that for many of you, these can be subtle nudges, subtle inspirations that are coming up. They can be pretty obvious and pretty in your face. So it really just depends on where you are in your journey, because as much as we are experiencing a collective journey, we also are on our own individual journeys. And when I was looking into the energies for this week, there really is some powerful energy coming through, and it is demanding that we remain in balance. So we are going to have to be more and more aware of what is out of balance within ourselves and in our lives. And we need to take action to correct these imbalances. We can't just allow ourselves to kind of sail through it all without actively partaking. I think in the past, if I look back in the last certainly 20 years, when I've become more and more aware of the energies and the impact that the energies have on us as individuals as well as a collective, it's been interesting how in the past there wasn't really much to do other than deal with what was coming up in that time or in that moment. This is different, because now we're actively being asked to participate as the energies move and as the energies help to shift the reality that we exist in and how they are working to shift and change our world. And it's important that we remember that the world is changing and that this change is needed. The old systems, the old programs, the old ways of doing things, they have to go because they no longer support the people that we're becoming, the consciousness that we are expanding into. And as a result of that, there are many things that are being at times ripped away from us, it feels like, whether we like it or not, whether we're ready to let them go or not, they are being taken from us. So the more that we work with this energy, the better. The more we work with the energy, the easier it is for us to navigate these times, to navigate the energy. And the easier it is to embrace the transformation that is happening within us and the transformation that is happening in the world. What I loved about the energies for this week is that there is going to be a real reunion and balancing of the head and the heart. And I think that part of this is being supported by the Mayan ascension energies that we've been aware of for the last week or so. And I think that is certainly helping that reunification of the head and the heart. So it's bringing those into alignment, bringing those back into balance. And as a result of that, we are able to actually bring things into form quite quickly. So the new structures that we're needing, to support ourselves, to support our purpose, and to support our consciousness can be created incredibly fast. And I've certainly noticed that in the past few days as well. I'm operating at a much faster process than I have before. I'm able to tap into things in an easier way. I'm getting incredibly irritated with my Wi-Fi connection because it almost feels too slow, that I'm trying to access things and it's taking too long for me to be able to access those things. And when that happens, I often am reminded that the energy is pumping and it's moving very quickly, and so I'm in that stream, and so I'm moving very quickly, and I tend to talk very quickly and I move very quickly. And so things don't, the machines and things don't, and sometimes people around me don't operate as fast as I do, and then I get quite frustrated. So there is going to be this feeling of or this quickening of energy this week, which I'm really excited about, because I think for so long we felt stuck and stagnant and lethargic and exhausted and tired. And I know that last week I had one day of feeling that rocket fuel, and sadly it lasted one day, and the next day I was flat again, and it seems to have kicked in again today. So I'm quite excited and hoping that it is going to last longer than just one day, because I've got quite a lot planned for this week. The other thing I noticed is this incredible need for rest. And with that rest comes the integration of these new energies that are flooding through our systems. So I'm not as kind of resentful of the exhaustion as I normally am, because I'm recognizing it has purpose. And in those deep moments of rest, there are some incredible shifts that happen within us. And I'm not sure about any of you, but I'm certainly seeing and feeling far more positive about where we're going, certainly where I'm going, and where I see the world going. And I'm feeling this, it's difficult to explain, because I don't tend to look at the future with a positive glow. That's not been my norm. And I think it's as a result of the challenges that I've faced in my life. I'm almost expect there to be more challenge rather than for there to be ease and flow. And for the first time that I can remember, I'm starting to feel like there is real flow and there is real ease as we move forward. And as a result of that, I feel far more open and positive, and conscious of the beauty that is around me. And I'm seeing more and more of that in the world. And the connection to nature, my connection to nature, certainly is deepened this week. I'm noticing that there's a softening in people. in the ways of interacting with people. There's a real softening and a real gentleness that I haven't felt before either. So I'm really excited about that. And again, moving forward into this week, there is this real need for us to be conscious of where our hearts are closed and what we need to do to keep them open. Because with an open heart, we're better able to align ourselves and our lives with our soul's purpose and consciously bring structure to that purpose. So for many people at the moment, there seems to be a shift in how they are living their lives with regards to their soul purpose. A lot of people are shifting and changing, and that can mean a shift and change in how you do things, how you work, how you operate in the world, how you engage with people. And these are not subtle shifts. These are quite dramatic and obvious changes, which I'm excited about, because I think the subtlety can go over our heads. It certainly manages to go over my head at times. And I'm excited to see how we can do life in this new way with ease and grace. I'm just reading, there's some notes here. Faith's just written, Kate, yes, Kate, and the days are going so fast. It seems like every day is melding into the next. I've certainly noticed that as well. And also feeling like I don't have enough hours in the day. I think I've kind of covered it all. So is there anything anyone else would like to share, or anything else, any questions or insights you'd like to share?
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. We missed you last week.
Yeah, I got the possibility of giving some English lessons, so I took it. But I had a dream, and my dreams are always like soul messages for me, always kind of, I have to wait a few days and then kind of understand what happened. So I was on a boat with other people, and this person, a man who was really taking care of me really kindly, and there was an earthquake. So I really felt the earth shake. And then the boat had to ride on the waves, which were really heavy and hard. And gradually I could see that we were coming to a softer place, but the water became very shallow. And he said, okay, what are you going to do? What can we do to navigate now? And I just looked inside, and the answers really just flew from me straight away. And it was really amazing to say, okay, he's saying to me, okay, whatever happens, the answers are inside you and you can find them. And we ended up getting to the other side, people welcoming us to the other side in a really fantastic place. So I think it was a nice message.
I like that message. And those waves are really an indication of the intensity of the energies. Oh,
yeah. So
thanks. We've got some new people joining us live today, so that's always nice. Welcome. Thank you for making the time.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. The technology thing, yeah, totally. My tech has been really crazy all week. My internet and everything, it's just seems to be crashing all the time. It's up and then it's down. So there's a lot of electricity upgrades, I think, going around. Even though we are much more grounded this week, aren't we? It's very different. And I've noticed as well that sleep, regardless of however many hours or whatever, the sleep process has changed quite dramatically. And it's like, for me this week, when I'm asleep, I'm so deep somewhere on deep soul maneuvers or deep planetary maneuvers. I think we've got Pluto retrograde from Tuesday, and I think that's been working me. I'm really feeling it today and yesterday, and I did a Zoom thing yesterday, and I was 3.5 hours in tech support, and they couldn't do it. We had to redo it this morning. So that even in itself was very Plutonian. So I don't know if anybody else is feeling that, but we're really going into something with Pluto. Yeah, it's already here.
Yeah, it's definitely here. And I'm so glad I'm not the only one having the internet issues. I had the tech guys around here today, and they in the week they contacted me and said they were going to put some device in to help stabilize everything. And the device arrived, and it was a 5G thing, which I promptly went, no thanks. So yeah,
Well done.
like that. I don't need that energy, thanks very much. But I've also had those weird internet issues with connection, and then it just disappearing, and the poor tech guys don't know what to make of it.
A couple of questions. Oh, sorry, Matthew.
No, you go right ahead. Don't worry.
Okay. First, what's up with 5G? Because I don't think I know about the what to avoid there. And two, can someone talk, maybe Elizabeth Rose, talk about the full moon coming up?
Okay, so I'll give a little bit about the 5G. It is a technology that is incredibly dangerous and damaging to our energy fields and to the energy fields of nature. It breaks down the molecular structure of within us, the physical molecular structure of the body and of the plants and animals that it is, the frequency touches and connects with. So from an energetic perspective and from a health perspective, it is incredibly damaging. It has been known that wherever they're putting these little 5G gadgets, it has been noted that the plants and trees around it die. So yeah, do some research about it. I'll see if I can. I started doing research into it when it first came out, and was a little horrified at what it actually does. And I actually did a little bit of an experiment today when they plugged the 5G thing in, and they've left it here. I mean, I've just unplugged it, but I actually did a little bit of an experiment, and I went into a quiet space within myself, and I allowed myself to connect to my energy field, and it was, I literally felt like everything was being shaken, and it wasn't a nice feeling. I mean, I know what an energy download feels like, and then I can often feel as my energy field starts to pump and it almost starts to hum. But this was actually shaking my energy field. And yeah, it's not great.
So that means, like, I think that my phone is 5G enabled. So that's not a good thing, you're saying?
No, especially because we're on it all the time. I mean, I have got something on my phone that I actually got in the UK called a smart dot. So it's a little round sticker thing that has got some sort of, I don't know, something in it that you can actually stick onto your phone that helps with the radiation and the frequency of whatever your phone is on.
Kate, I have one of those too, and it's and what it is it's shungite, and shungite is a stone. It's some kind of a mineral or stone that comes from Russia, and it's supposed to. I guess they've done some scientific research that it helps to protect from EMFs, and I also have a stone too. It's called noble shungite, and that's supposed to help the energy field as well. So that's probably what's in the sticker.
Yeah, it probably is
And
that.
it's not very expensive. So if people wanted to get something like that.
I mean, the other thing is there's it's man-made. It's called organite. If you get the real organite, it looks pretty ugly. You can make it yourself. I've got them scattered throughout my house and on my Wi-Fi, which the tech guys, I'm sure, wonder what on earth it is. But it's made from resin, and inside the resin they've mixed copper and stainless steel filings, and sometimes they put crystals into that as well, and then they put it all into resin, and because of the resin compressing the metals and the crystal, it creates a force field that can clear energetic spaces and protect from EMF and that sort of thing. So it's also a good, I have noticed it does mess with my Wi-Fi connection. So I've had to accept that's going to happen, but I prefer to have that than not.
Yeah,
I was
thank you.
also
Thank
gonna.
you.
Sorry, Jeff. We keep walking over each other. I was also going to add that there's a lot of action happening in the sun at the moment. There's a lot of solar storms. In fact, 2 huge coronal outbursts this week cut out shortwave radio over the South Pacific, I think was the one, and the other one was over Asia. So, and then there's been a lot of talk this week. Scientists are really looking at the magnetic poles are shifting quite a lot because we're losing so much water in certain places of the Earth because of climate change, that the Earth's axis is actually shifting. So there's all of this going on at the same time too, that I think, we must be interacting. And I'm sure our electronic devices, I think it's a way also of just saying like, slow down, right? Like you don't have to be online 24/7. You don't have to be attached to your devices. Like maybe just take a break. And I've in fact sort of taken that as a lead this week, and I've been leaving my phone places for hours on end and just being like, I'm not letting you be in my space and take up time and energy, especially when you're frustrating me by breaking and wigging out, right? So I'm just going to leave you there for a little while, let you sort out your thing with your tech gods, and I'll come back later. But I do think all of that movement, we're so connected to the sun, right? All of us are, every living being on this planet, right? That's our mother in a way. So I think when those bursts happen, there's got to be on some level something in us that reacts to, and I imagine the things we create out of the same elements would also have a reaction to it. So I'm sure the feelings we've had around tech this week have sort of been mirrored for all of us in that way.
Well, Faith's also just written here, they hung smart electric meters in my area, and the pine trees began dying straight after. I'm so sad at the loss of those beautiful friends. Yeah, I'm wondering if my sister-in-law recently told me that there's some 5G boxes that have been put near where she lives, and I'm wondering if I can somehow plant some organite underneath the poles, and whether that'll help, even just drive past and throw it next to it. Fiona Tomlinson. This is a new Fiona. The life alignment people in Cape Town also have a phone protector that is sacred geometry. Yeah, I think that life alignment stuff you can get all over the world as well. Elizabeth Rose says she can't get enough of sitting in the sun. If the energies are off the scale, good. Oh, Matt's just called me a spiritual anarchist. Yep, definitely. Oh, it's Liz. Liz is on someone else's phone. Thanks, Liz. I'm glad you could make it. Okay. I mean, I also think that it's, you know, all this energetic shifting and changing, and the sun doing its thing and the earth doing its thing, it does have a dramatic effect on us. And I know that there was a aftershock from the sun, a wave that was predicted to hit, I think, tomorrow, but it actually hit last night. I read that earlier today. So there's definitely a lot of activity, energetic activity, and so that is going to impact us, and it can do one of two things. So I'm quite excited that over the years I've slowly gone from being wiped out by those eruptions of the sun to being energized by them. In the past, I used to be completely wiped out for days and not able to function, and now at least I'm feeling far more energized by them. Elizabeth has also said I'm seeing rainbow clouds nearly every day.
Kate, sorry, I'm the wiped out stage at the moment. It's just wanting to sleep as much as I can. And as Elizabeth Rose said, when you go into sleep, you go into a deep sleep. But I just can't get enough of it at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I relate. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hi, Anita.
Hi. No, I also relate in terms of the wiped out thing. But yesterday I was the opposite. But today I felt that wiped out thing, but I've still felt even in the wiped out state, that heart energy that we were talking about last night, that being in the heart space in terms of the mind stuff that's going on is still very prevalent. So I've been feeling really good, even though I'm quite exhausted, and I've still been doing stuff. So that's the difference. I haven't been it hasn't taken my mood down.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
Just going to jump in, if I may. Hello.
Yeah.
I finally made it to Antigua. This is very exciting. But I actually have had a really reflective mode going on at the moment. I had the wiped out, I had the real rocket fuel, then I had wiped out for 3 days, slept incredibly well. And then now it's quite funny because I've come back to somewhere I came 18 years ago. It's prompted a lot of thought, and even having 8 hours on the plane, just silence and being able to think. And it's really weird where I've been trying to work out this work-life balance, as I call it, and I still haven't worked it out, but I talk about it. It actually just dawned on me, it's not a balance, it's a coexistence. And it's a very strange thing, but it's a very subtle realization of the difference of not how to stop work, then start, life. It's actually being able to combine the two in a way that you enjoy each moment when you're in it. But also, I think coming back somewhere 18 years ago, you then reflect on how your life has changed and the balance of, am I that different? And then I think of all the things that I've done in 18 years and how I have changed. And it's also made me realize what a brilliant life I've actually had that I've never really enjoyed while I've been in it. And it's a really strange thing of suddenly thinking, my God, I've had so much fun, but I've never really appreciated it. So for me, it's a real dawning of life is actually pretty incredible. She's sitting in Antigua, but it is, I don't know, it's a state of mind of, rather than being upset and thinking the whole time it's a struggle, suddenly something's lifted and it's no longer a struggle and I'm going to enjoy it. It's like there's a space in my head, whereas before it's just wanted to implode and it's been full and pressure. So I think that's making me relate more to my heart center, which you're talking about. And I feel more gentle and I feel more loving, and it's a complete shift. And if this is the week to relax and sleep, well, I'm planning to do nothing but that. But it's very strange for having been in a state where you've never actually been utterly relaxed and enjoying life to suddenly enjoy it. I know that sounds really strange, but it's a nice place to be.
That's brilliant, Fiona. Well done. That's kind of what I was trying to explain as well for myself. What I felt in this week as well is that real awareness of, that life can be enjoyable. And it doesn't always have to be a struggle. And I love that idea of your life work coexisting together rather than trying to find the balance between the two. Because I love my work. I love what I do. And so I do it all the time. So that for me, there is no balance, but my work is my life and my life is my work. So they're so intertwined and interlinked that it's very difficult to separate the two. And I think that you're right. It's learning to coexist with both rather than trying to separate them out so that you have a life and you have your work. And particularly people that work for themselves or have their own businesses. It might be a bit different for those that are employed by other people, and you might be, doing that work because it's something that you need to do in order to pay the bills, and you're not yet able to, or haven't found a way to do something else that you love.
I think for me as well, the one thing was that when you have the balance of thinking of trying to divide work and life or playtime, is you always feel you have to finish the work before you can properly relax and enjoy the time off. So this is what I mean about the coexisting. It's that like I can park the work even though it hasn't been finished, but I can still enjoy the moment that I'm in, that I'm not doing it, and go back to it without being in that moment thinking I really should have finished that off. It's almost like I've always said, I'll do that when that's finished, or I'll do this. So you're always having your life on hold. And actually it's just changing that focus by coexisting. You actually do both equally powerfully at the same time.
Exactly.
Long may it last.
We'll just remind you of it next. If you fall off the wagon, we'll just remind you.
Congratulations, Fiona. I think that the energies right now, and really have been, all about enjoying what's in front of you in the moment. And whatever that is, work, not work, anything else, whatever's in front of you at this moment, I think that's a big part of the energies that we're moving into, if not maybe how we've always supposed to been living, but harder to do in the past. So that's great. If you take what comes up next, it seems like you're in the flow of your life. If you think about a leaf kind of going down the river, whatever it encounters, it hits a rock and it stops there for a minute, and then the current takes it down further. And when I think about going with the flow, that's kind of the image that I get. We've talked about that before. Good orderly direction for things. But I was thinking about what Lynn was saying, and a lot of I dream a lot, and I wake up sometimes and feel like I'm much busier at night than I am during the day, especially these days when I'm here most of the time. And I wondered what everyone else thought about that, and maybe sounds like a basic question, but I'm going to ask it. And what the purpose of what we're doing in our sleep is?
Well, for me, when I feel like I'm having those busy nights, I do feel like I'm still working. I often feel like I've visited clients or visited people and done some work in my dreams. Other times I feel like I'm meeting with, I suppose, the teams of beings that are working with me. And there are times where I wake up in the morning and know that I've agreed to something, but can't remember what it is. And I feel like I've been robbed of something, because I know that something's coming and I've agreed to it, and I'm possibly not going to like it. But and then there are other times where I think we travel to get insight and clarity. So I think there are different things that we're doing, and certainly at the moment it does feel like we're very busy. But I think that might be because the energies of the earth, there's something happening with the energies of the earth, and I can't quite describe it yet. I just know that there's something happening. And I mentioned last night in our Q&A that at some point a few years ago, I was told that the energies of the earth were being withdrawn. So she was withdrawing her energy from the surface of the planet and taking them back into her core, and that there was some sort of process that she was going to go through, and that when that process was finished, that energy was going to shoot back out and back onto the surface of the planet. And I feel like that's what's happening, is that the energies of the planet are moving back to the surface. And then obviously with all of this energetic or magnetic or electrical energy that's happening in the sun, you know, that's also coming down to meet her and to meet her energies. And I think that there's something that we are doing to help with that connection of the cosmic energies and the earth energies meeting. And I think we do that in our dream states. Hava has just mentioned, my dreams are clear out past lives and ground me in this past flow of energy. Yeah, that's also true. There's actually a lot of past life healing that's been happening at the moment for people. And Lynn says,
Kate, sorry.
Feels like
sorry, Kate, I keep losing connection, so I missed bits. I'm so sorry. But I didn't know if you answered the question from Jennifer about the effects of the new moon coming up. We were talking about the 5G, but I don't know if you actually, okay, you're coming to that.
Elizabeth Rose just written, I keep seeing a four-way cross in meditation. Recently heard the guy is transitioning from 2 poles to 4 poles. Oh, that's brilliant. So that'll be the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. Nice. And that ties into the Mayan ascension energies, where we are orientating ourselves within those directions. I like that. Lynn's just mentioned, like, we're making the energetic grid around her of the planet. Yeah, I agree. There's some sort of something that's changing. I actually am going to find out what I can about all of that. Anita's also having past life healings. So the little that I know about the full moon, which is tomorrow, is that the moon is in Scorpio and the sun is in Taurus, and then Pluto goes retrograde on Tuesday. So that's about as much as I know. What I do know is that Pluto going retrograde is going to create some interesting shifts. The moon in Scorpio, and Elizabeth Rose, you're far more knowledgeable about astrology than I am. All I know about the Scorpio moon is that it digs into the what is hidden, the subconscious, the unconscious, and lifts all of that stuff to the surface. I don't know if you want to give us a bit more insight.
Yes, of course. I've been working with the energies, although they're not peaked yet. I've been working with them extensively the last couple of days. And as you say, sun 7 degrees Taurus, moon 7 degrees Scorpio. They're at opposite ends of their axis. They are each other's opposite. So they are the anchor and the evolution that need to create the whole. And where they meet in the middle, so we're having this big pull out. Where they meet in the middle is where the mystery and the alchemy and the birthing from the unknown universal to what needs to be manifest physically is happening. And that space is mega. So that's where we want to get to when we're in meditation and we're doing it. Moon is on one side, all the other planets are on the other, but she's not feeling isolated like she did last month when that was going on. And she's opposing and squaring like, oh God, 9, 10 planets. So oppositions create opportunity, and squares create a break. So a break up, a breakthrough, a break away. And then this Pluto energy is going to go really, really mega deep and take us down into our subconscious for until October. So there'll be a lot of death and dying, a lot of karmic strangleholds, a lot of obsessions, that will come to the fore, and we've got to make a choice around them. And that's really, there's a lot of past life as well. That's Pluto retrograde in motion coming up, because it takes a long time to get there because it moves slowly. So those are the big things. The other thing that I would just add is when, because there's a semi-square to, or sesqui square to Neptune. When I tuned into Neptune yesterday and today, it was really active. So the spiritual element that's coming in, or for some, the artistic element that's coming in, it's amazing. So it's deep, heavy, transformative, and then next week it's just a pause. It's a real pause. We are held, and then at the beginning of May we'll get the revelation of what this period is all about for us, and we can move on with it.
Brilliant, thank you. Well, I'm certainly feeling it in more ways than one.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth Rose. That's
Yeah, that's a really lovely, simple explanation, rather than wading through all the written stuff that I have been seeing online. And I also, I like this energy that's going into the deeper recesses of us, because it is going to bring to the surface what we need to see. And that doesn't necessarily have to be negative things. It can also be positive things. It can be things that we've forgotten about ourselves, about who we are, about what we're capable of. So that is also a good thing. And I think that for many of us who've been working on healing ourselves and aligning ourselves and bringing ourselves into balance and opening our hearts, I think that it'll be a far more positive awakening or positive transformation than a negative one. And as well as the death and the dying, I mean, there's so many things in our lives that we need to let go of. And I think that a lot of things are in the death throes. And I really feel like those are just going to be ripped from us now. They really are no longer needed. And what we need to focus on is making sure that we let go of our attachments so that we don't feel any pain when they go. Okay. Any other questions or anything else anyone would like to share?
Last week we did that heart meditation, and remember I said I had kind of the parade of people from my men from my past, whatever. The next night I had the most vivid, well, actually it was that early morning time when you wake up and then you doze back off. Probably the person who wounded me the most. But I mean, this goes back 40 something years. I had a dream. It's so vivid. You know how there's a dream, I always seem to know I'm dreaming. And then there's when you really think you're there with somebody. And we were in a car, and it was now, not the past. And he had shown up at my house, obviously, and we were driving along talking, and I remember the feeling that there was this great comfort level, and how nice it was that after all these years, there could be that comfort. And he turned to me, he was driving, he turned to me and said, I want to talk to you about something that happened while we were married, which we weren't married, by the way. And so we both stopped and realized that he had said that and we really weren't. And I went, no, that's all right. I understand, because he was an important person going even back to high school. And when I put my hand over his, I mean, I can still feel that. And then I woke up. So I woke up and went, well, what? I don't mean to be a bad sport, but you drop by and I waited 45 years. What were you going to tell me? And it's bugging the hell out of me still. So thanks for opening that door.
Maybe, Nancy, by saying that you were married, maybe the secret message was he wished he had married you. Who knows?
Well, I literally was packing to move to Houston, Texas to live with him. I was only in my 20s. And I mean, I had sold my furniture and rented my apartment and the whole thing. And he called me up and told me not to come, that he had met somebody else on the phone. And it was a really dark time in my life after that, as you can imagine, trying to undo and stay where I was. And it was actually the time period, which I didn't think about it till we just said it, that got me smoking pot and all of the things that led into the addictive stuff, which, thank you God, 33 years ago I stopped. But anyway, so just an interesting, I bring it up because you wake up and you go, wait, I want to go back and finish that conversation. But you can't jump back in. I mean, maybe some people can. I couldn't jump back into that one. So anyway, I thought I'd share that because you started it, not to point fingers, but.
Well, you know, Nancy, maybe it was just about a healing. Maybe him wanting to apologize.
That's what my sister said when I told her about it. Because when we were together, his mother hated me. And I never in my whole life had a mother. I mean, she hated me. And she went to bizarre lengths to try to break us up and keep us apart. And I mean, investigating my family and throwing my uncle who drank in my she was bizarre. So my sister's take was maybe he was apologizing for, whatever. But anyway, whatever. I just thought, strange times we live in.
But I think we've all done things when we've been very young that afterwards you kind of wish you could go back and do differently, and you realize how badly you behaved. And with a bit of maturity, you would have dealt with it in a different way. I mean, 20 is very young when it comes to relationships and things we've done and said. I mean, I know for a fact I could go back and change a few things, but you can't. But it's interesting. I can't really see the full chat, but I see the odd thing pop up and people saying they get the sense that he wanted to apologize. That was also the feeling that I got, of where it's being that older, wiser person thinking, actually, what I did was just the most atrocious thing. And why did I? So I think you just have to accept that. If all of us feel it as sensitive people, then that's probably what he was trying to do. Close the circle, as you call it, Kate, and be able to move on.
Well, the funny thing is it's not, I haven't seen him since the 70s, but I send him, his family, a Christmas card, and I get one back every year. So I'm sure it comes from his wife, who I've never actually met, but whatever. So it isn't even like we were cut off, and he was supposed to come to my niece's wedding because he and my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law, are still friends, and then, which caused me a great deal of anxiety because I don't really look like I looked in my 20s. And he doesn't actually look that bad for it, Anyway, he didn't end up showing up, but I'm already anticipating there's another nephew getting married in the fall. Anyway, whatever.
One thing that might be helpful, Nancy, that I learned to do a few years ago was, before I go to sleep, is actually ask for a dream. So if I have a question, I ask that I have a dream that will give me the answer. And 9 times out of 10, I get them. Sometimes I have to decipher them a little bit, but generally get the answer.
Well, in the end of that meditation, the message I got was healing your wounded heart. And I suppose if you ask my sister, who is probably the closest person to me, she would say that was the great wounding in my life that shaped how other relationships happened after that. So anyway, more onion peeling.
Yeah.
Hey, interestingly, I'm having less vivid dreams than I usually do. I mean, usually I'm awake all night having dreams. You know, there are 6 or 7 things going on and I constantly wake up. And I'm finding I'm not. And I'm doing a lot of meditation before I go to sleep. Is there a direct link that if you meditate before you go to sleep, your brain's more, I suppose, in a relaxed state? I mean, it's been really nice. So I will keep meditating before I go to bed, but I just wondered if it was directly related.
Yes, it can be, because often our dreams, you know, we have different kinds of dreams, but the nighttime is the time where our brain is able to process the events of the day. So it generally does that first processing bit. And that's why the dreams that are more kind of soul-based are the ones that happen in the early hours of the morning, because our brain's done all the processing and it's freed up the space to then be able to access other aspects or other parts of ourselves. I also like to meditate before I go to bed so that my mind's kind of clean and open for dreams. But I also haven't been dreaming, well, I haven't been remembering my dreams, but I feel like I'm very busy. So maybe it's not time for dreams. Okay. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
How do you make your dreams as interesting as the dreams we've shared here today? Mine's usually about blocked plumbing and broken toilet handles. You know, it's not.
I don't know, Megan. You've got to have a word with your subconscious and why it's keeping itself in the bathroom. It would be normal if you were a 4-year-old boy, but you're not.
And why there's bats in your heart cave.
Well,
They don't research. The bat's fine. It is a what did you say? It's something that wants to manifest or something that wants to be created. But the plumbing's got me.
well, I was more concerned about the fact that you were telling the bat that it had to hang the right way around because it was the wrong way around.
They're supposed to hang upside down. They mustn't sit up straight like this. It's wrong.
Well, there's an animated movie. I think it's called Anastasia. It's all about the Russian princess Anastasia. My daughters loved it, and she had a bat pet friend, and he used to sit upright. He didn't hang upside down too many times. You know.
Netflix tonight. I'll watch Anastasia because I don't like the idea of being a 4-year-old boy in the bathroom kind of scene.
Okay. Oh, there's Faith just said, Megan, the bathroom is still about cleansing and clearing. Ah, well. Check your Pluto placement, Megan, Elizabeth Rose says, in your natal chart. Okay. Well, before we move into some meditating, I must actually just tell you, we've got a few exciting things happening with Spirit Pathways. So there are a few things coming in the next few months. I'm going to start offering wisdom conversations, which are going to be webinar or Zoom meetings with those who are interested, and they'll be held by not just me, but also some of the facilitators that I have for my course, Pathways to Mastery. So if you guys have any ideas of conversations that you, or topics that you'd like to discuss, please let me know. Then I'm also looking at having some master classes where I'm going to invite other teachers to offer their practice or their teachings or their knowledge or their wisdom. So if you guys are interested and know of anyone who you would suggest, one of whom I'd really like to ask, and I know I'm putting her on the spot here, is Elizabeth Rose. I'd really like to do one with you, because I think it'd be wonderful to be able to introduce you on that platform to the wider community, and you know, everyone kind of knows you now, but it'd be interesting to talk about your life and your work and what it is that you do, because it's very interesting, certainly for me. So I'll contact you for that one. And then we're going to also start offering discounts and some other interesting things for our memberships. There'll be workshops and different kind of groups. I also want to do start offering spiritual support groups. So those will be really small, intimate groups made up of 7 to 8 people. Where we find ways to support each other through these times that we're going through. So I'll keep you posted on that. And then we're also going to be doing an 8-week meditation course. So that'll be starting kind of middle of May. I think the 22nd of May is the date that we've set for that. So all of this I'll share with you via newsletters, and as the weeks go on, just keep giving you more information. But as I said, if anyone has any ideas around people they'd like to hear as speakers, any topics that you'd like to start discussing in those wisdom conversations, please let me know. And if you're interested in joining the support groups, what I'd like to do is match people, you know, similar, that are on a similar path or a similar journey, rather than having people at different stages. We kind of match the right people together. So I'll send out more information about that, because I'm really feeling like this community is growing, and I think all of us are finding it incredibly useful and helpful. And so what I'd like to do is start offering more and kind of more intimate spaces for deeper processes to happen and for deeper work to happen. So I hope that you guys will enjoy that. I'm certainly excited about it, and I'm busy working on a new website, so there's lots happening. So I will keep you all updated and posted. Okay. Megan's mentioned Russell Brand and his on his book Revelation. Oh yes, well, if I can get Russell, I'm telling you, I will do my best. I love him. I think he's fantastic. He's got a brilliant sense of humor. I think the only reason I actually started liking Russell Brand, not because of his acting, was because I found out that he does Kundalini yoga, which is the yoga that I do, and that his joke was that Kundalini yoga is the crack cocaine of yoga. So I think he's got a brilliant sense of humor. So I'd love to get him on. So I'm gonna contact him. I've also contacted Luna Joy to see if she'd be interested. I think she'd be an interesting person to speak to, also because of all these Mayan ascension energies, get her perspective. She does some very interesting work. Yeah, so if there's anyone else that you can think of, pop me an email or contact me on the Mighty Network. Nancy says he did a fun interview with Brené Brown. Yeah, he does some great interviews. He's got a wonderful podcast. So, and he covers some amazing topics. Oh, Jane It's lovely to have you with us. Jen's just messaged, I just wanted to give thanks to all of you and Kate. This feels like an intimate group, and so today I'm blessed to join. Well, we are blessed to have you with us. Not often that you get to join us live. Good. All right. Well, if you're ready to do some meditating, let's see where we go. Hopefully no caves are filled with bats. Not a fan of bats myself.
I won't tell you if there are, Kate.
Okay, thanks. Well, as long as they're in your cave and not in mine, it's fine. Okay, so when you're ready, get yourself into a comfortable spot. And gently closing your eyes. Just allow yourself to settle into this moment and into this space. Draw your awareness to your breath. And just allow yourself to take a few deep breaths. And with every exhale, allow your body to relax. Allow yourself to let go. And allow yourself to move into a space where your mind is still and your heart is open. Allow yourself to let go of the thoughts of the day, worries, concerns, any fears, anxieties, or worries that you're carrying at the moment. Just let them go. And allow yourself to feel held and supported in this space. And in your mind's eye, see yourself standing on a beach. It is twilight, and the moon is full and shining brightly on the ocean. And you wiggle your toes into the sand, feeling the connection that you have to the earth beneath you. And you lift your face to the moon and just breathe in those energies, those full moon energies. Feel them washing through you. Feel them connecting to the earth energies beneath you. And when you're ready, begin to move forward towards the ocean. Stepping into the water. Feel it washing over your feet and your ankles, over your calves and your knees as you move deeper into the water. Following the light of the moon as it dances on the water. And you allow yourself to completely submerge yourself in the water. Feeling it washing over your face and your hair. And you allow yourself to begin to float. Looking up at the star-filled sky. Feeling the light of the moon and it dances over your form. You feel the waters as they wash and cleanse your energy field. And you allow yourself to float with the currents. Feeling yourself relaxing and surrendering into this moment. Trusting that the waters will hold you and carry you forward. If there's anything that you're holding on to at this time, allow yourself to let it go. Feel it being washed away with the water, being taken by the tides. And feel yourself becoming one with the ocean. Feel its power. Allow yourself to remember what it feels like to be in flow. What it feels like to be held. What it feels like to trust. Allow yourself to feel into your own subconscious mind. Feel into what is being hidden, suppressed, ignored, or denied. Feel that surfacing within you now. Allow yourself to observe what is being revealed. What is it that your intuition is trying to tell you, to show you, to reveal to you? And now feel the ocean currents taking you to a different shore, to a new land. Allow yourself to follow the currents, to flow with the currents. Until you reach the beach. And thanking the ocean for its gifts, its wisdom, its love, its support. Allow yourself to step onto this new land, this different shore. And allow yourself to feel renewed, restored. And filled with peace and tranquility. Feeling that flow as it moves through your body and being, reminding you of the need to flow through this time, to trust the direction that you're moving in. The new that you are creating. Feel your connection to the earth beneath your feet. Feel this connection deepening, growing. And when you're ready, taking a few deep breaths, draw yourself back into this time and into this space. Feeling yourself sinking into your physical form. Move your fingers and your toes when you're ready. And open your eyes. Thank you. That was relaxing, hey, Nancy? At the beginning, I actually felt like I was spinning and I was going to disappear. I actually had to put my hands on the ground. Yeah, keep me in. Exactly. All right. Hopefully, Megan, there were no bats. We were in the ocean. There can't be bats in the ocean.
Thanks for that. Yeah, stay out of the caves.
I hate to mention it, Kate, but that's exactly where I'm going now. So I'm going to relive that meditation and actually step in there, except for minus the moon.
Good. Well, hopefully you won't find any bats there.
No.
All right. Well, thank you everyone again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all next week, and enjoy your holiday, Fiona. Well deserved.
As you say, it's the time of rest. It couldn't have been a better week, could it really? Of all the weeks. So,
Well, yes, your body might be resting, but the rest of you might not be.
I know. Well, I have got my laptop here, of course, but I'm going to try and limit it to a certain amount.
Oh, good. Well, enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I will see you all next week. As always, it's so wonderful to spend this time with you all. Lots of love. Bye.
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Nancy. Have a good week.
You too.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Megan.
Thank you.